How you doing? It's your boy here with another video for you, and today we're gonna talk about what realistically is what people may say is adjuster pay. A lot of people get into the adjuster field because they are looking for a step up in money, and maybe you hear about the type of money you can make with friends or whoever it is you've talked to. But I want to go ahead and set the record straight as far as what you can expect as far as pay. So let's start with just the obvious. Is staff adjusters. Staff adjusters, of course, they work for an insurance carrier and they're direct employees. Now, this is what the difference is between staff adjusters, independent adjusters, and public adjusters, I guess, is that staff gets benefits, and usually the pay, it all depends on what you're doing. I've seen pay as low as $35,000 depending on what you're doing, like for some inland marine I've seen, and then and some other property, and then I've seen some get paid up to 70 depending on your experience. So it's kind of a big range on that, but for the most part, if you're just starting out, I would expect somewhere in between 35 and 42 as a starting salary, and usually you would have to have a degree to go along with that, unless there was just some circumstances where you had prior experience. So moving on, we would go into what most people are looking to try to get into, which is independent adjusting. Now, independent adjusters, I will tell you what my personal experiences are, and I know from some people that have also worked within the field, what they've gotten paid. The circumstances around the pay are that the pay rates that I'm going to say may be for a month, maybe for 3 months, which is usually storm season, 4 months. If you're really, really lucky and getting on a really good assignment, you may work for 6 months, a year, sometimes longer than that. The one thing about independent adjusting is that, you do pretty much everything yourself. And what you have to do is you have to set it up and seem like, and think like you're a business. So the lowest I've ever gotten pay is probably, I've done field assignments, and you probably average about $30 an hour. If I was doing a day rate, usually that's somewhere between $425. I've gotten $425 to, well, actually on the high end, $900 a day. When I'm working, say, property on an hourly rate, anywhere from $24 to maybe $37 an hour. So what you have to do is, for you have to figure out, for one, is adjusting gonna work for you as far as that pay scale? Because even though you get paid $40 an hour, $500 a day, or whatever it is, that's gonna be very limited. So you really have to make it count. And what people don't tell you sometimes is that I think people understand, but you have to pay for your own lodging and things like that, which will be another video. That'll be what to expect on a deployment, or before your first deployment. So I would say on the low end, I've gotten paid $2,400 and change on an assignment a week. $2,400 a week, which is, you can round up to $2,500 a week. And on some assignments, I've gotten $7,000 a week, which those are very, very, very rare. So that's the particulars about adjusting. Like that particular job, I may have gotten 3 months out of it, where making $2,000 a week. I got 6 months out of that job, and that was desk adjusting. And the other job was desk adjusting too. And, there's adjusters that make $75,000 or $40,000 a year, and then there's adjusters that make $200,000 a year. It all depends on the assignment that you're there to do and what kind of work you're doing. And then lastly, so for independent adjusters, I'd say you can make anywhere from $2,000 a week, and to be safe, I'd say $5,000 a week depending on your assignment. I wouldn't expect too many more opportunities outside of that, because those are far and few in between. But there are opportunities like that. I know people that make $3,100 a week, no problem, and they take those checks home, just as happy. Then now with public adjusters, the thing is that I know a lot of public adjusters, at least in Florida, they get paid like a base salary plus a commission on top of whatever they write, which is like a particular estimate, whether it be property or whatever. They will say it's $10,000, maybe they get 5% or 2% of whatever they write if it gets accepted. So if you write $1 million worth of estimates, you may be able to see an extra 2% of whatever that is, on top of the regular salary that you're getting. So that's another option for those that are becoming adjusters. Now, the difference in some of these jobs, I always say, is if you're working desk or if you're working field. Field and desk get paid a different type of way. Usually a lot of people would say that working field is a lot more lucrative, but what you have to do is you have to do what's best for you. So if you don't feel like climbing roofs and doing this, that, and the other, then you may not be built for the field. But in the long run, I like desk. I started out in field and I like the desk, and I could do either or. But the desk is you go to office, you're comfortable every day and you do your job, and usually you leave until they tell you otherwise. So that's the gist of it. So just to break it down one more time, we have staff adjusters that usually it's a degree, make somewhere in between 35, 37 to 40 some thousand a year starting out. And then like I said, I've seen them up to 70,000 for a job. Then you have the independent adjusters, which in all actuality is what a lot of people are trying to get into. But just understand that if you can't live on $2,000 a week, or if that's not a lot for you, and you're gonna have to pay your own lodging, which means your hotel, wherever you get assigned, and you're gonna have to show up 24 hours before that. If you can't pay for that and still live off of your money, you need to really evaluate what kind of money you're gonna make when you go on those assignments. And then you got public adjusters who work for the insured, and they usually work on a salary and then a portion of whatever estimates they write. So I hope this is helpful as far as just breaking down the types of adjusting you may want to do, and not only that, how the pay is structured for each section of becoming an adjuster. Other than that, click the like button if this was helpful to you, or hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified every time I make a video. Next video will be how to prepare and what you need before a deployment. So I will get you on that note, Enjoy. Have a wonderful day.